stronger, softer, firmer.
It's been really, really, really amazing.
I love X39 because it really helped reduce the inflammation in my knee. I can now run again. Woohoo!
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's nice to be back. How is everybody? Yay. So welcome to, are we recording? We are recording. Okay, the lighting is very strange here. I'm sorry about that. You know what, honey? Why don't you take over for a second while I close the blind? Okay. Just introduce the call for me, please.
Okay, I'd be happy to. Good evening, everyone. It's Gregory here in the other room. And welcome to Testimonial Tuesday. We do this call every Tuesday night, similar to our Monday morning miracle call. We have testimonials. People are sharing their wonderful experiences with our products for the first half of the call. And then we have a special guest doctor that'll come on and do a little education and Q&A on the second half of the call. So we try and keep the first part of the call focused on X39, our lead product. And so with that, I'll turn it back over to you, Robin.
Okay, and there's a whole bunch of people that want to come in. Hi, everyone. Nice to be back. So I think you guys know the drill. What we start out with is your stories. And I just want to say it's your stories that build businesses. It's your stories that change lives. It's your stories that inspire people to share with other people. So if you have, for those of you that want to share tonight, please raise your hand and then I will call on you and we'll spotlight you and you can share your story. And remember to be compliant, be brief, and be done. And so we don't claim any to heal any diseases. We don't ever name any diseases. We talk symptoms only, what it was like before, what patch you used. We, love to hear your stories and then know what you can do because you've been using this amazing technology. So we're going to start out with Holly and then we're going to move on. So you guys raise your hands and we'll call on you. And hello, Holly.
Well, hello from Georgia.
Well, nice to see you, my dear.
Okay, X39, I have been on the patch X39 for approximately 12 days. And the reason I decided to try it, I've been seeing a little bit in different Telegram groups, probably since around Mother's Day. But in the year 1998, I was in a really terrible car crash and I had brain damage. I had brain surgery. I broke both arms and I have a knee replacement. And
Whoa.
I am only currently 48 years old. So I live in pretty constant pain. I exercise a lot. I teach fitness at our church for seniors because I have to stay in constant, physical fitness. But I live pretty much in perpetual pain, stiffness, swelling. So maybe 3 weeks ago, I went to the mall with my mom. She's 80. I had to sit down periodically. My leg swells. She's 80. I'm not. I have to sit down. Can you imagine what that's like? Toss and turn every night, stiffness. It's ridiculous. So I decided to try the patches because I had read a lot about them and I'm just going to tell you. Day one, didn't feel much different, but by day two, I felt a force. I can't even put into words this force. I could almost feel the energy. I am a hard sell on most anything, and I'm skeptical of everything in this world. And it was life altering. By day three, I had the best night's sleep of my life. By day four, you could see the outline of my knee again. It wasn't puffy or swollen. Here we are, 12 to 14 days later, because I skipped 2 days when I ran out. It's life altering. I'll live this. I will live on this for the rest of my life. I don't care what I have to do to get it.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
We love, Holly, we love healthy skeptics. There
Yes.
are That we really do, because once you have an experience and develop your belief, it's game over, like you said. So you keep drinking your water, you keep patching, being consistent, and it is cumulative, my dear. It gets better and better and better. Thank you so much for sharing and being compliant. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, so the next hand up is Roger. So and keep putting your hands up, everyone, so we can keep this ball rolling. And Roger, you're next.
Can you hear me?
We can.
So I have a short story about got stung by a wasp between the fingers. I had my X39 in my neck, my C7, and then I put the glutathione 2 hours after. No more pain, no more anything, no swelling, all gone. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. And that was a bee sting. Always, I carry my patches with me. It's my first aid kit. You never know when you're going to need them for yourself or someone else. Thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, who's going to be next? Please put up your hand and we will find who's next. Okay, well, I'll share a story. Let's see, I have so many. Well, I was just over at a friend's house today, and he was dealing with some back pain and some other pain that was running down his leg. And he's tried a lot of things, and he's dealt with this for many, many, many years. And I put Ice Wave on the bottom of his feet on kidney 1 because he had pain in several areas. And I had him drink water right away. Hydration is really important for the effectiveness, for the technology to move through the energy system. It needs to be hydrated. So he had amazing results like that. We love it. We love these patches. Okay. All right. We have Lori next. And who else is after that? Raise your hand, please. Lori, you're on.
Thank you, Robin. I first was exposed to this product because I had a dog who was dying and I needed pain relief for him. We had decided we were not going to put him down before Christmas. He was still eating a little bit, and then my son became his personal chef. And so we could get CBD oil into him, and then he stopped eating. And so by the middle of January, my son had gone back to work and I was doing all the cooking and he was not eating anything. The fridge was full of little containers with bits of food left over. And because he wasn't eating anything, he wasn't getting any CBD oil. And so he was very stiff and in a lot of pain. His feet would spread out about 2.5 feet. He'd gone from 56 pounds to eventually about 37. And I put the first patches I got were in the middle of February, and I put the patches on him, and within 5 seconds his feet came together and he could walk like he had when he was young, and he had a spring in his step. He was a Pharaoh hound, and so he just kind of floated on the ground. It was beautiful to see his movement, and he went down the stairs and up the stairs and had no problem. For the last 14 days of his life, he was not in any pain until whatever the tumor was inside of him ruptured, and then he bled internally, and he had to be put down. But I'm so grateful for the patches. I've started using them since then because, as you probably all know, there's no placebo effect with animals. And I was just so impressed and so incredibly grateful that I found Life Wave and the Ice Wave patches because they really worked on Frank the dog.
Oh, Frank the dog. Yay, Frank. He's in heaven with our dog Levi, who we just had to say goodbye to too. And it's really hard, but to give them quality of life at the end is so beautiful. And that just feeds our hearts too. So thank you so much for sharing that, Lori. That was beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, next we have Kelly.
Hey everyone,
Hi,
I'm
Kelly.
Kelly from North Carolina, and I have was introduced with LifeWave a year ago at a horse lovers day for a horse that had severe arthritis. Was just how I was introduced. So my recent is my mom broke her wrist pretty bad in a fall last Thursday. She had the temporary cast. Luckily she took pictures of it for me. And so I found out about it, took her patches that Friday, and I took the Eon X39, Ice Wave, and 49, and had her, put as close to one on, or the X39 on her palm, the Eon kind of up, because again, we're dealing with, a lot of swelling, and of course the wrap. Can you still hear me? Okay, sorry.
Oh, there you are. Oh, good.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Were you hearing me the whole time, or was that?
Yes, we could
Okay.
hear you. Now we can
Okay.
see you, and I like that even
Now
better.
you can see. Yes, now you can see. I'm still in my gym clothes. She had severe just swelling, purple, of course. And by the next day, the swelling, I checked on her by Saturday, for where we had placed these patches, the swelling was so much down. And the purple, it even just with one day had gone down so much, had changed. She went to Piedmont to the orthopedic, and of course he took the temporary patch off. They had initially told her that she was definitely gonna have surgery. Just within those 4 days, he said something is happening, and she told him what it was, as far as the patches, even if he didn't really know anything or believe in it right now. But he said, you don't have to have surgery, that it's healing so much. Her swelling is down, the purple is gone. She does have a permanent cast on, but just with that in itself, and me seeing the pictures and her taken, from the day of to 4 days later when she went back to the orthopedic, was amazing progress. So.
Well, Kelly, thank you, thank you, thank you. And there's nothing like helping a loved one, is there?
Exactly.
That's
So
beautiful. Thank you so
yes.
much for sharing.
Thank you for letting me share.
Yeah, so we have Patricia next, and then Sunshower.
Good evening.
Hello there, my dear. Hi.
I usually don't have my video on, but
Well, I'm
tonight-
glad you do.
no. Have you ever heard of anyone say that their cuticles disappeared on their hands after using the patches?
I haven't, but that doesn't mean it doesn't. And you guys who are the participants listening, if you've heard that, please feel free to share. So is that what's happening?
That's what happened to me. I noticed one day I went to do my nails and I went, I don't have to do my cuticle cream. There are no cuticles there anymore.
Amazing.
I know. Go figure.
Well, everything gets better. Yes.
Everything does get better. And I just keep saying, okay, now can we get to my knees, finish them off? So
It'll get there. You stay with it and keep well hydrated, okay? And then
I
come
will.
and share about your knees, okay, Patricia?
Okay, thanks.
All right, hon. Thank you. All right, Sunshower, you are next.
Hi, I'd love to show my face, but the host has stopped my video.
Well, let's ask you to start your video. Try again.
That's better.
There you are.
So I'm going to tell you 2 stories. One of them is Old Hat. For those of you that have been around the block with LifeWave, I'm 74 now. By the way, my hair is getting darker every single day. And let's see, July before, I was out in my yard weeding and I never could smell my whole life. And suddenly I go, oh my goodness, this weed smells different than this weed. Wait, what? So, I would say be consistent with X39. That was a thing that took about 2 years, but you never know what's going to happen. So I would love some input. I took a spill and I guess my arm slid down the side of the door. So I'm still recovering with this weird bruise. I've tried several things, X39, Eon, glutathione. Anybody got any ideas?
Is it your shoulder or your arm?
Arm.
Oh my gosh, that's lovely, my dear.
Thank you. Do you love the bling?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Well, we'll look in the chat if anyone has any additional ideas to reduce the bruising, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the X39 should do it, but it doesn't sound like it is
How's
right
it
away. It will soon, and keep watching the chat and see if anyone has any contributions on that one. And we always love hearing about your sniffer. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Thanks
This
so
is
much.
Gregory, and
Robin.
I'll chime in, Sunshower. I suggest putting multiple patches in the area, multiple X39 and multiple Eon, because it's a pretty big bruise. So maybe you need to double up.
Okay, and arnica is what Dr. Velvet recommends.
I've done that every single day.
arnica.
Yeah. I have a
Okay.
spray and I take the homeopathic remedy.
I imagine you do, considering sponsors a homeopath. All right. Well, thank you, my
Thanks.
dear. We've got time for just one or two more. So we're going to get to Cheryl. You are next. Let's keep them really tight and then we can take care of Cheryl and let's see, Annette and Irene. So let's keep them real tight so we can have all three of you share, okay?
Yes. I just wanted to say that I just finished 21 days on the patches and my fingernails are growing like weeds. And they're really hard, which is fabulous. I've never had such beautiful nails. And I don't know, how that's attributing to the X39 and 49, which is what I'm doing, but it's fabulous. And I had to trim them down some because they're just really growing really fast. So I've had them grow before, but not like they are right now.
Isn't that fabulous? All right. Love it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Love the glasses. Okay. Beautiful and brief. Annette.
Thanks, Robin.
Great to see you.
You too. Thank you. So Thursday evening before Labor Day, I was at my grandson's football game and I was talking to a group of people standing up and I turned my body and I heard this crunch in my knee and I said, what just happened? And I had to sit on the grass. The pain level was like a 10 right away. It was so bad. I already had some problems with my knee. So that was, I was being treated for that. So on Friday, I went to urgent care to make sure nothing was broken. And my pain level was about 10 and I couldn't put any weight on it. Had 2 crutches. Then I just patched up like crazy. Thursday night, Friday night, I wore X39, X49, Eon, Ice Wave, and even energy patches. And I was down to 1 crutch on Saturday, which was really amazing. And Sunday, I woke up with the pain level was like at a 1 and I could go to church by myself, drove myself in the morning without crutches. And so I'm so grateful for that. So, and my chiropractor on Tuesday couldn't even believe it. The doctor had said, oh, you might have like pain for 6 weeks. I said, I don't think so.
Isn't that fun? I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, we're going to end up with you, Irene. You are on.
Okay. Hi, everyone. This is my first time I've been on, so I'm a little nervous. But anyway, I've been using the patches for quite a while. But when I first started using them, I had severe knee pain from a fall on my bicycle. And I started with a little bit of Ice Wave. And then I started adding the X39 because it just had arrived. And I found that I didn't even need the Ice Wave after a while. I just needed the X39 and the pain has not come back. And that's many months later. I have but I'll just stop at that one.
Oh, well, thank you so much. And thank you for sharing this evening. We're a safe crowd.
Thank you.
Well, wonderful, everyone. Thank you so much for sharing your stories, and they make a difference. Just remember that. You know, the people that build the biggest business are the best storytellers. It's, you know, the amount of stories you tell that will directly relate to your income. So share those stories and share other people's stories too. So now we get to bring on Dr. Barbara. Gregory, is Dr. Barbara with us? Gregory?
Yeah, I was muted. Yes, she's with us.
Okay,
and
great.
We'll bring her on right now. Hold on.
Okay, good. Well, we are blessed to have Dr. Barbara Jennings with us this evening, and she's a mother of 7. She was a classical pianist, had a serious illness, and then went into natural healing to help other people with all kinds of hormonal thyroid challenges. She's a detox expert. She is an absolute amazing contribution to our community, and we just adore her. So welcome, Dr. Barbara.
Thank you very much.
Great to have you.
I don't know if I'm supposed to be a panelist or anything, but I'm here.
You know, you're here and you're on screen, and that's the important part. It's different with the chat version versus the Zoom, the meeting, whatever. So
Yeah,
you're perfect.
You're a co-host, Dr. Barbara, so you can see the chat and everything. So
yeah. So
okay. All right.
Dr. Barbara, we have a few minutes for you to share a little bit about, you know, why is it that you chose to, you know, really be willing to try this technology and then share it?
Well, first I wanted to try it because anything that can give me or you more stem cells is worth trying. The value of having an increased population of stem cells is huge. And so I was just curious, first of all, with that. And then what made me decide to recommend it to my patients is the fact that, number one, it works. It does what it says it's going to do. And these patches can do things that no doctor can do for you. There's no doctor in the world, unless you're doing injections. But when you're comparing these patches, the X39 patches to injections, it's a no-brainer, which is the better choice, at least to me. They're so much more affordable. They work for everyone. You know, as long as you have these 2 things in place, you're well hydrated and you have enough copper in your body to make the copper peptide, then they're going to work for you. And very expensive injections don't always work.
Beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So when someone wants to get started, what do you say to them to get the maximum benefit of utilizing this technology?
Well, those 2 things I just mentioned, right? Drink plenty of water. You want to drink at least half your body weight in ounces of a good, clean, filtered water. You need enough copper in your diet so that your body can make the GHK copper peptide, because that is what the X39 patch does. It stimulates your body to make more of this GHK copper peptide. And only after that is increased, then your own stem cell production is increased. So those 2 things, and then wait, give it time. Give it weeks, give it months, give it years, and just watch good things happen.
I'm so glad you said that, because I was talking to someone today and they had someone try a month and said, oh, this doesn't work. And I said, you know, I really, from my perspective, unless someone's willing to commit to 3 months, I say, don't even start, you know, because we didn't get this way overnight. So give it some time. And some people say a month for every decade. And drink your water, have your copper supplement, be consistent, peel and stick. Isn't that wonderful? And anything else you want to share about, how long it takes to feel them? What happens if people don't feel so good right away? What do you say to people?
Mhm. Well, before they're ever put on a single patch, I like to just give people what I think is a reasonable expectation. Because while some people do notice a difference within days, even within the first week, we heard a lady tonight say, 3-4 days, she had very noticeable positive results. But there are also people who won't for a few months. And both of those mean it's working. I mean, it's working for both of those people equally well. What we know is that the patches will work for you. They will help your body make more stem cells. What we don't know and can't control is what your body's going to do with those stem cells and in what order. So your body, in its infinite wisdom, knows what the most important things are. And it may or may not be something that hurts, something that gets your attention. It may be something that doesn't have sensory nerves attached at all. You can only feel about 10% of all of your nerves. So there are many things that your body may want to do before it gets to your sore shoulder, for instance. But that doesn't mean it's not working for you. So you may be a quick noticer, you may be a slow noticer, but just trust that it's working for you and your body's doing the best thing.
Beautiful, beautiful. So what other final comments do you want to make sure we cover tonight before we open up for questions? So now is a good time for you guys to put questions in the chat because we'll be able to see them now. So why don't you do that? And Barbara, Dr. Barbara, what else would you like to share before we open up?
Just that it's important to have a period of time where you're wearing it and a time where you're not wearing the same patch. So roughly the rule is wear it for 12 hours and have a 12-hour break. And that is so your body doesn't adapt to that, because as long as it's on your body, it is stimulating your skin with the same frequency of light. And if that never stops, your body will become used to it and less responsive, and the patches may become less effective for you. And so in order to avoid that from happening, you need that 12 hours of a break between taking off the patch and putting on the next one.
Beautiful.
So that's very important to know.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So let's jump into the questions. I'm trying to see where they start. Okay, I'm going to start. It's hard. Question. I have a prospect who is researching X39 but has sinus and breathing problems. Is this okay?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Great.
I would suggest glutathione for that person as well.
Okay, wonderful. Any particular placement?
With glutathione, I would put it on the back of the neck or on one or both of the two lung points right here, just below your clavicle right here.
Great. Lung 1, a famous point.
You could also sleep with it on any of your sinuses, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
Any of those places.
Great. Or wear it during the day there and look good, huh?
Yeah, you could wear it during the day.
Yes.
Go for it.
My husband has swelling from detox possibly in his hand, wrists, knuckles, and ankles. What are your suggestions? It's been a couple weeks. It's from Jim and Ann Ford.
From detox, I'm wondering why you think it's a detox. Are you confident it's detox? And did this happen after you started wearing a patch like X39? Or was that there before a patch?
He put the patches on his wrist.
In order to give a good answer.
Yeah, he put the patches on his wrist because they were sore. So he put extra patches on his wrist, and he has an injury that's 50 years old from his wrists, and they just started swelling up. And so we backed off because it was a lot of swelling, and it's been there for 2 weeks. So we're just letting it kind of run its course. We're kind of assuming it's detox, but we don't really know.
Okay, and that's with X39?
Yeah, and he's been on the patches for a couple of years. So
More than X39 on the wrist, or are you using others?
he put the Eon on the wrist too with the X39.
Okay. Well, remember that when stem cells come in to repair a joint, the old and damaged cells in that joint have to be removed. So they're removed, they're sloughed off, and they go into that joint space. So your body can make new cells, healthier cells, but the old ones don't disappear. They are moved into the joint space, and that can temporarily cause an increase of inflammation. It can make it seem like the joint is getting worse when really you just need some time. Your immune system is going to come and clean up those cells. Your lymphatic system needs to come and help clear out that inflammation. So I would, probably drink extra water above and beyond what he typically is. And you could keep using the patches 12 hours, or you might want to just reduce it to 2 hours a day. And then give it some time. So unless there's a new injury there, it may very well just be part of this healing process.
Thank you. That's very helpful. Okay, Francine says, I'll be fasting for a religious holiday, which means no food or water for 24 to 26 hours and standing and sitting during services. Since I can't hydrate, can I still wear X39 during that time? And should I add energy patches?
Yes, and yes, I would definitely add the energy patches. And yes, you can still wear it.
Great. Shana Tova. Okay. Michael, I have 2 bumps under my right armpit and one on the inside front shoulder. Just got a CT scan today. What do you recommend? And second, I have a prospect who's researching X39 with sinus and breathing problems. Is this okay to ask what to recommend? So starting out with you, the bumps under your right armpit and the inside front shoulder. So what do you recommend, Dr. Barbara?
Are these swollen lymph nodes, the bumps, or are they something else? Or do you not know yet?
And Michael, if you want to unmute your line and share that, that would be helpful.
We're not positive, but we should have some answers probably in the next day or two. But we believe that they're probably swollen lymph nodes. But they recommended the CT scan to get a better look. But they've noticed two potential problems.
All right. Well,
one is like jelly under the armpit, and the other one, like where you would put a rifle into your shoulder, that's a little firmer.
all right. So I would focus on the Eon patch and glutathione patches. Those are both protective. Well, glutathione, your body's master antioxidant. It supports your immune system. Your liver and your spleen are the biggest users of glutathione, or the highest concentrations of glutathione are in those 2 organs. So supporting detox, and then your spleen being both lymphatic and an immune system organ. So you want to increase your glutathione a lot. And so I would definitely wear one every day. And then the Eon patch, I would put one on both of those bumps.
Great. Thank you.
Much appreciation.
Okay. And Jim also asks, Michael's also asking, he has a prospect who's researching X39 with sinus breathing problems. Is it okay that you recommend? Well, we already answered that one. Yes.
That's right.
Yes. Okay, good. Okay. Kira just wanted to say, I'm one of those who feel absolutely nothing, yet the results are undeniable. Isn't that fun? Thank you, Kira. Okay, Peg, my heavy metals test said that I have a very high copper. Is that a problem doing the patches?
No. You may want to check out whether you have a certain disease, which I won't say here, but there's a disease where you have too much copper. It might show up in your eyes. But as far as using the patches, absolutely not. No problem at all.
Great, thank you. How much daily copper is needed? That's from Patricia.
Yeah, David Schmidt recommends about 2.5 milligrams a day.
Okay.
And it's hard to find a supplement with that much. Most of them have less, but there are a few out there.
I found that the Pure Products has a 2.5 milligram of copper.
Yeah, Pure encapsulations.
Yeah. Okay. And if you want to know some good sources of copper, Mark, all you have to do is go online and say, what are some good sources of copper? Because there's a lot of them. You want to share a few of favorites?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you've got some mushrooms, beans, some nuts, oysters, asparagus, raw cacao. That's my favorite. I love asparagus too. I eat a whole bundle of asparagus all by myself in a meal. So those are all good ones.
Okay, great. Thank you. So Krista wants to know, what can you do for numbness?
Numbness caused by what?
Yeah. Do you want to unmute and share what kind of numbness you have, Crystal? Okay, we need a little more information, my dear. So why don't you, if you can unmute your line and share, that would be helpful. So we're going to move on to Nicole. Any patching protocol that can be helpful for a young boy with insulin regulation issues? Very well stated.
Yes, the SP6 patch, the green one, SP6 patch, really helps balance your metabolic hormones. You can't go wrong with the X39. That also can help, but there's always a lot of inflammation that's going to accompany that situation. So I would also use glutathione and Eon. I'd use glutathione in the day and Eon at night.
Beautiful, beautiful. And iPhone 2 says, how do you know if you've had enough copper? If you don't, will they be ineffective?
If you have no copper, then you won't make the copper peptide and they will be ineffective. I've never seen anybody that has no copper. I see a lot of people that have less than optimal copper. So you'll still be able to make the copper peptide. There are a few ways that you can find out how much you have. You can do a blood test and ask for copper to be tested. I also have another kind of scan that can tell me if a person has adequate copper or not. So there's two ways.
Okay. And let's see. Sunshower is helping Adele. She's asking for a client. She is a 75-year-old man with having trouble walking, sleeping, swelling feet, bloating, stomach, breathing difficulties, too much fluid in his body, and the doctor's saying these are signs of heart failure. He's been using X39 for a week. What else would you recommend?
I would recommend carnosine and energy enhancer.
Great.
I would use the energy enhancer here on the lung points on either side of the heart, and carnosine on any of the points, also perhaps on the pericardium points on the arm.
Okay. So we have Rose in the Philippines. Good morning, Rose. Let's see. How can X39 help a woman with rectal problems for so long? She suffered at times blood when she's having constipation.
Okay, so I think I know what she's asking about. Probably swollen veins in the rectum. So using X39 and X49 will help your body make more collagen, and your blood vessels are made of collagen. So more collagen, the X39 is going to help. The other thing I would use is those two patches that can reduce inflammation, and that's glutathione and Eon.
Okay.
But you want more collagen to strengthen the integrity and elasticity of your blood vessels.
Okay. So Casey has someone who just canceled after 2 months of using patches on her dog, who had a muscle tear. Encouraged her to keep using them for another month, but she refused. She wanted results quickly and thought 2 months was enough for her pooch to be all better. I suggested X39, but she's not open to using anything else. Is there anything you'd suggest for her? She doesn't sound very open, so.
Yeah, that's a good example of a lesson we all have to learn at some point, which is to not give people unrealistic expectations. And before they ever put them on, make sure they understand that it takes time, and that time could be many months. Yeah. So it sounds like, she had an unrealistic expectation. Perhaps she was expecting it to work more like a stem cell injection. But I know doctors who do stem cell injections, and they tell their patients, expect,
6 months,
a few months for that to work. So, if I'm not sure what to tell her, except that I would just explain again that if she really wants to help her dog, she needs to trust the process and the body's ability to heal. And muscles do not heal fast. So it's not realistic to expect a torn muscle to heal quickly, even with stem cells.
I'm so glad you brought up the realistic expectations. I think that's important when we speak with anyone, because it's wonderful when people have rapid or instant results, but typically, we want to give people a conservative expectation and to give it 3 months. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So we're just going to take a few more. This is Mary, and she says, I have a friend who has an immune illness. One of the symptoms is excessive thirst. She tried X39 for 3 months, and she said, I made them the thirst worse. I told her to wear them less hours, drink more water, but she wanted to stop as the thirst issue was such a problem. She didn't notice improvement either. Do you have any suggestions?
Yeah, I would really focus on minerals with this lady. We have to have minerals, electrolytes. Electrolytes are minerals that enable your cells to absorb water. So this is probably not going to make her condition worse, the immune condition worse. But if you don't have adequate minerals, you're not going to absorb the water into your cells, and your body is still going to send messages of I'm thirsty. And so I would you need to accompany more water with more minerals.
Beautiful. I think the minerals are way underrated, aren't they?
They are.
Yeah.
They're absolutely critical. So
And
that's something people don't really understand is diseases come from vitamin deficiencies, but mineral deficiencies cause dysfunction and possibly death.
whoa,
So we don't really get diseases from mineral deficiencies. We get dysfunctions, and if they're not fixed or get worse, death.
oh my.
So
They're
should
really
be taking
important.
some good minerals. Yes.
Yes, get some good minerals. All right. And Gregory, would you type in the chat, is it the copperpeptidebreakthrough.com? Is that correct? Because I want people to know about that website. It's a brand new website.
Yes,
It's
I'll type
available.
it in the chat. Okay.
What? Would you
Yes, I
type?
will. Yes, I will.
Okay, great. So we do have we just want to support everyone with more wonderful information that's not connected to LifeWave, but is all about educating people on the copper peptide. And I wanted to make sure I remembered that. We're going to take one or two more here. Let's see what we got. Having trouble with water retention. What do you suggest? I'm drinking half my body weight.
Same answer I just gave. Take minerals.
Okay, great.
You need minerals. I see that all the time. I've had patients come in who are drinking a gallon a day and they're still thirsty. You need some time with a really good quality mineral. You can message me if you aren't sure which one to take. I'm going to put my my contact info in the chat.
Great.
But you need good minerals, and you need some time for those minerals to be distributed all over your body because you've got 80 to 100 trillion cells, and they all need some of those minerals. So you want your cells to be like sponges to soak up that water. You want water inside your cells. If you have a lot of water that's not being absorbed inside of a cell, then gravity will work on that water and it will fall, and you'll get swollen, puffy feet, ankles, and possibly legs or even hands.
Very
So-
good to know.
So that's another sign of being mineral deficient is a lot of swelling in your feet and ankles.
Which a lot of people have. Okay.
Yes.
And let's see.
Yeah, I've had people come in and do my program, and their feet, they have to buy all new shoes because their feet shrunk 2 sizes.
Oh
because
my
the,
goodness.
the puffiness and swelling goes down.
They
So
finally
I've seen that.
They finally have mineralization in their body. Yeah.
Right.
I know that when I took your course and I took your minerals was the first time ever that I was not mineral deficient. So love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to finish up with Susan Stevenson. With autoimmune conditions, isn't it important to add Eon and glutathione?
Is it important?
Isn't it important? Yeah.
Oh, it's very important. Yes.
Great.
So
Great.
glutathione protects all of your cells. It's protective against cancer because it protects your cells. It protects your DNA. That's one of its jobs. It also helps protect your immune system. It helps protect the health of your blood vessels. It's very good for your cardiovascular system. You can't live without it, and more is better.
Great.
So very important patch.
Yay.
Terrell or Terrell Transtrom.
Oops. My phone is ringing. Well, everyone, what an amazing evening with your stories and Dr. Barbara's wisdom. We had a great evening tonight on Testimonial Tuesday. Thank you, everyone, for being here. We're thrilled that you're here. This will be up on our YouTube channel tomorrow, probably. And keep posted, keep sharing those stories. And great to have you all here. Thank you, Dr. Barbara, as always.
Robin, can I just say, next week I'm doing, we're kicking off a new detox group. So if anybody would like to join the best detox of your life and probably some of the best education of your life.
I vouch for that.
I just put the link It's detox.drbarbara.jennings.com. So the link is there.
Great. Detox.drbarbarajennings.com, drbarbarajennings.com. Wonderful. And I took the course. It was a 4-month course. It was an education of a lifetime. And that's the first thing I think anyone should do if you have any kind of challenge. And David did a program a few years ago, recommended everyone do a seasonal detox because we live in a toxic world. We're all exposed. And Dr. Barbara's education about where we're getting these toxins from and what we can do about them, and not just getting rid of them, but finding the binders to get them out of our bodies, which was a big education. So thank you for that. All right, everybody, we're going to say goodbye. Good night.
Bye. Good night.
You can unmute.
Bye, thank you.
Thank you if you want.
Good night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Much
you.
appreciated.
Good night. Come again.
Thank you. Great
Bye.
session.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Hi. Jennings.